listen, leaders need to listen to their TA departments and their HR departments, because we really are the people who are, I mean, rooting for you, rooting for the company, and the people that we bring in, those are the people that you want to retain. And hopefully,
Yeah.
for the most part anyway. And don't let them escape. If there is a layoff, don't let those people escape. We need to look at business differently. Instead of rushing right away to doing a layoff, what else can we do? Can we put those people in other roles? Can we build out our sales team and maybe put some of the people who are in talent acquisition? Don't get rid of your recruiters. Move them into a sales role if you need to for a while. Or like there was a woman that I had hired years ago after she had been laid off by Intel. But prior to the layoff, she had been in marketing. She had moved from talent acquisition into software marketing because she loved it. I had another recruiter who went into IT work because she loved that, but she was still part of the organization.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So they found a
and she understood how to work through the organization also, right? There's so much complexity in many companies that it takes time just to get your feet under you and understand how things get done. So if you understand the culture, you understand how things get done, I can totally understand why you would move someone, into another role like that. But how often do you get tapped for that kind of information, or are they always coming to you for talent acquisition? And you're the, do you say to them, hey, listen, they're right there.
Yeah.
Like the talent is right there.
Yeah. I have smaller companies, not so much from big companies, because the larger companies, of course, have their own internal teams that are supposed to be doing that, right?
Right.
Whether they do or not, that's another story. I'm not sure, depends on the company and what their resources are and their budgets are for building out teams to, find competitive analysis teams or change management teams, if you would, to help to assess, what's going to happen in the future with the employees and who do we need to keep, who do we need to move around, who do we need to let go of, if there has to be a layoff, who are the people that are still critical to the company. And now I just lost my train of thought on that. What was I going to say? Anyway.
Yeah. So it depends on the type of organization, whether or not you're given that opportunity.
Oh, yeah. And the smaller companies, do typically, that's the point I was going to make. The smaller companies do actually bring in people to help them, do some gap analysis work and to kind of set up strategy, and also to compare, because we've been doing this for a while, we can compare their company with another client that, and share with them, some of the pitfalls they had, some of the positive results they've had, and let them then decide for themselves, what's going to work best. Just offer solutions. We're here to participate. We're here to offer solutions. So oftentimes storytelling can be a great way of presenting a solution, because you can tell them this is what happened with ABC company. This is what didn't work. This is what did work. And then let them kind of take it from there. And that is very beneficial to a lot of clients.
Yeah, I would think, like you said, from a consulting perspective, everybody knows what talent acquisition, partners are supposed to go and do. But to your point, like there are so many other elements to it. Like if an organization's brand is broken, you're going to see that, and you're going to know that you can't represent that brand properly. And so you can fix that. If someone's onboarding process or training process is horrible, you're going to see them go through the funnel and they're going to lose those staff members. So I could see where consulting would have to be, a viable option for you from a services perspective and business perspective.
Oh, definitely. Well, in fact, right now that is going to be the new role for talent acquisition. And, we used to be called recruiters before, right? Staffing recruiters. Right. Now we're called talent advisors for that reason. And here's the benefit of AI. So AI is going to come in and help us do a lot of our day-to-day repetitive tasks that we hear about.
Sure.
So it's going to enable us to be more human and to have more human interaction than with our clients, candidates, whatnot. And in doing so, it's going to create a bigger role for people in talent acquisition. We
Hmm.
are going to have to be more strategic. We're going to have to look at things from a higher perspective, and be able to ascertain what the needs are, not just of one department, of all of them, and be able to be almost that traffic cop kind of person, helping to direct traffic, helping to direct where candidates can go, or employees. If you're working internally within a company, then you can help direct then some of the employees. One guy was telling me one day that one of the agentic bots that's going to come out, and I think that this is a great idea for AI, is to let employees know, have like a broadcast, an employee communication broadcast that lets them
Mhm.
know what the new positions are that fit their background. Say, hey, you've been with the company for a year. Here's a new
Sure.
position that's coming up in ABC, department. You might be interested in it. I mean, what a great way to retain employees, right?
Totally.
And there again, you're working with AI. It's not working against you, it's working in your favor. But as a talent advisor, then that employee can come to you and talk to you, and you can kind of help, direct the flow of traffic, for that position or the other positions that people are being contacted about.
That's terribly different than an applicant tracking system.